Hey everyone! Recently my wife Carol and I spent a week on the beautiful island of Curacao, and in this video I'm going to cover some of the amazing attractions that we visited, the food, accommodations and transport, and I will mention the cost for each of these things. We began our trip in Willemstad, which is the capital of Curacao. We ended up staying in 2 different accommodations during our stay on the island, but if you have a car you can actually just stay in a single place the entire time, as it is a small island and you can easily do day trips all around Curacao. In Willemstad we stayed in a very nice and cozy oceanfront boutique hotel called Scuba Lodge. They have rooms and apartments ranging from $150 to $135 during the low season, and from $180 to $390 during the high season. This is considered an upscale place on the island, and it has an infinity pool and restaurants overlooking the ocean. Willemstad is a small capital and you can easily visit the main sites and neighborhoods by foot. Some of the spots we visited were the Pitamai district, which has many colorful historic Dutch buildings from the 18th and 19th century. Many of them have now been converted into bars, restaurants, cafes, stores and guest houses. Another neighborhood next to Pitamai is called Punda, which is a popular shopping area and also has mainly historical Dutch buildings. There is a floating bridge called the Queen Emma Bridge that crosses the St. Anna Bay, which connects Punda to another old neighborhood called Outro Banda. This bridge was originally constructed in 1888, but it has been renovated many times, and one of the unique things about it is that it swings open sideways for boats to pass through. When it is open, you can get a small boat across the bay for free. As you cross the bridge, you get the amazing postcard views of Willemstad with the many colorful historic buildings on the waterfront. The waterfront also has some upscale restaurants and cafes to eat at with some nice views. Across the bay in the Outro Banda neighborhood, there is the Riff Fort from the 1800s, which has been renovated and has many modern stores and restaurants within, and also has some good viewpoints. This is right next to the cruise ship terminal if you are arriving on the island by a cruise. For food, we tried both the local and tourist restaurants in the area. For local food, we ate at a local market in Willemstad called Plaza Bio. For $8 to $10, you can get the meal of the day, which is usually a big plate with your choice of meat, vegetables, and rice and beans. Great value. We ate at the restaurant at Scuba Lodge, which was one of the many oceanfront restaurants in Willemstad. There we paid around $18 for a tuna burger, $9.75 for a portion of the famous local cheeseball snack, $3.60 for a Pepsi, and $3.05 for a natural lemonade. Many people are visiting Curacao to relax on some spectacular beaches. The first beach that we visited was Mambo Beach. If you don't have a car, there are many vans passing by in the capital. We took one from Willemstad to Mambo Beach for $1.70. Buses on the island cost around $1.10 to $1.40 depending on the route. Mambo Beach is actually a man-made beach, although you won't really notice when you are there. The entry fee is $3.50 per person, and the sunbeds range from $3.50 up to $25 for a private tent with sunbeds. We definitely weren't disappointed by our trip to this place. It was our first sight of the iconic Curacao blue waters that you get throughout the island. We were able to order food and drinks at our sunbeds. We paid $9.75 for a smoked salmon bagel, $6.70 for a mango smoothie, and $3 for a cranberry juice. For the rest of our trip, we decided to stay in the west side of the island called West Point, where you get the even more spectacular natural beaches. We rented a car, which we recommend for visiting places outside of the capital, as transport options are more limited. The car cost us $60 per day, a bit expensive, but that's because we didn't book it in advance. If you book in advance, you should be able to get a car for around $40 to $45 per day. On the west side of the island, we stayed in a more local accommodation called Francilia Apartments. The price was much cheaper at $32 per night plus electricity, which for us was an extra $5 a day. The internet was really good, and even though the place was very simple, we really liked it. The first beach we visited in this region was Casabao Beach, which many consider to be the most beautiful on the island. The entry fee is $6 per car and $3 for a sunbed. The colour of the water was absolutely spectacular and some of the best that we have ever seen in the world. Much better than the man-made Mambo Beach that we visited previously. There is only one restaurant at the beach serving food. We ordered a cheese toastie for $3.90, French fries for $3.50, a water for $2.80, and a lemon iced tea for $2.80. A short drive from Casabao is another amazing beach called Grotty Nip, which was basically the same level as Casabao. We prefer this beach as it has some fun cliff jumping spots and it was also free to enter. The sunbeds here are $5 each and you can get a parasol for $10. Or you can get a combo deal, which is one parasol and two sunbeds for $15. On this beach we got some snorkeling gear which cost $10 per person. We highly recommend doing snorkeling here as it's easy to swim and there are a million of fish and many different varieties. Grotty Nip only has a simple beach bar, so we went to a different beach called Playa Porto, which has a proper restaurant. The entry fee there is $3, but nobody charged us, possibly because we arrived there quite late in the day. There we ate a tasty veggie burger for $10.90, and we were surprised to find some lazy beach pigs chilling on the beach. Apparently it's very common to see them around the beaches in West Point, so it was very funny to see. The last beach that we visited in the region is Grotty Nip, which has no entry fee and is smaller than the other beaches, but once again it was extremely beautiful. All four of these beaches were pretty much the same level and none of them will disappoint you. One of the most popular attractions in Curacao is visiting another island called Kleinkurasaw Little Curacao. We chose a full-day boat tour with bluefin charters for $120 per person. That includes a premium open bar with alcoholic drinks, a barbecue lunch buffet, and snorkeling gear. The boat departs from Yantiel, which is another popular beach area near Willemstad, and took about an hour and 45 minutes to arrive on the small island. The island is basically a deserted, smaller version of Curacao with no places to stay, but it does have a creepy abandoned lighthouse from the 1800s which you can explore. There are also two shipwrecks close to the lighthouse, which is something different to see as well. Our favourite restaurant in West Point was called Playa 40. We had another fish dish with fried plantains for $19.50 each and an alcoholic drink for $5.30. The reason this restaurant was our favourite is because we caught a spectacular sunset there, so definitely make sure to visit at sunset time. If you are looking for other things on the island besides beaches, a great spot is Shetiboka Park on the northwest side of the island, which costs $10 per person. This side of the island is very different as it is way drier and extremely rocky. There are a few different attractions here, like a small cave that you can go in and natural rock arches and many points where you can watch the wild ocean waves crashing into the rocks. This area really doesn't look or feel like you're on a Caribbean island at all. I will now cover some other tips and information that might be helpful if you're visiting the island. I would book your accommodation, boat trips and car rentals in advance. A month should be fine. We had a bit of an issue in July this year booking things last minute as many things were already booked up, and this meant it also cost us more money. The national currency of Curacao is the Netherlands Antillean guilder, often referred to as the florin or the guilder, but you can pay with US dollar everywhere on the island, so we never bothered getting any of the local currency. The country's official languages are Dutch, English, and Papiamento, which is their local language, a Creole blend of African, Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, French, English, and Arawak Indian. So if you're an English speaker, the language barrier won't be an issue at all. We checked the prices of a local SIM card that would also work in Aruba since we were going there after Curacao. For a SIM card with 6 gigabytes of internet, the price was $50 US. The main phone operators on the island are Digicel and Flow. On their websites you can check their prepaid SIM card options and prices. Regarding the best time to visit, from what we read you are pretty much guaranteed good weather all year round as this island is outside of the Caribbean hurricane belt. Another good thing about the island is that it doesn't have the sargassum seaweed issue that the majority of the Caribbean islands are facing this past decade, which means you're always guaranteed beautiful, clean Caribbean beaches. We hope this guide gave you some great ideas of places to visit and things to do, and also gave you an idea of how expensive a trip to Curacao might be. I will link a playlist at the end of the video and in the comment section that shows each of these places separately in more detail if you're interested. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like on the video to support us, follow us on Instagram, subscribe here if you'd like to see more videos like this one from around the world, and we will see you around.